Now you see me. Now you don't. Now you see me. Now you don't. When it comes to racism, wanting to be seen as a functioning human being and not just as a target or as a criminal is really important. No one wants to walk around being thought of as a criminal or being suspected of something when they're just carrying on a normal life, healthy life, happy life, productive life like everyone else. Well, obviously, I am not African American. I'm not darkly colored or lightly colored person. And so when I walk around, in many ways, I'm invisible. When I'm driving down the street and a police car crosses, I'm invisible. I might get a little apprehensive, though. I mean, it's definitely African Americans and other colored individuals are not the only people who have a little apprehension when the police are around. But as I had taken a class, online class, about what to do when stopped by a patrol officer and how to preserve one's rights to not have constitutional violations of one's right to prevent unlawful search and seizure. And the ACLU, an old ACU attorney, did this series online. I watched it many times, and I actually practiced it a number of times when I was stopped by police officers for no apparent reason. And when you put your hands on the wheel, you roll the window down just this far, just enough so you can hand out ID. And while you're doing that, the officer stops you and says, do you know why I stopped you? You always answer every question with another question, because legally, in the legal system, the only way you enter, my understanding, the only way you enter their jurisdiction is if you answer the question. If you do not answer a question, you only keep asking questions back, you are technically outside of the jurisdiction of that law officer. That's my understanding according to this particular video. It is very, very intense. I think it's called Busted. But when I mentioned this and I showed this to African American friends of mine, they say, no way would I ever dare to do that because I would be immediately shot. The police would not allow me to actually support my constitutional rights. And there are a lot of other tips in there, but essentially you keep answering each question with another question. And you only allow enough space to hand out your IDs. You don't roll it down to give the officer an opportunity to stick their head in and look around to find some kind of probable cause. Well, when I was explained this, that they need to make a totally different video for black people, it made a lot of sense. It became much more clear to me how rigged this system seems to be. And so there's the whole issue of invisibility in classrooms as well. All students want to be recognized in some fashion by their teacher. They want to be recognized as having dignity, as having an opportunity to participate in class, that what they have to say matters. And that I understand because I've been in a lot of classroom situations. I know that is the case. There are others, though, in the back of the room. It doesn't matter what race they are, what culture they are. They slink. They try to hide behind other people because if the teacher's asking a question and they're embarrassed, they don't know the answer. Or perhaps they don't know what the teacher is asking because their language is not so strong, language abilities. So Sometimes we want to be invisible, sometimes we don't. But in general, it's very important in an anti-racist educator's mind to be sure to not allow anyone to be invisible. And looking at the color of someone's skin should not automatically classify them in one way or another. Whether they're white, whether they're black, whether they're from Asia, and I lived in Asia many years. I lived in Japan, read, write, and speak Japanese. I did many tours and studies in China, Hong Kong, a lot of places. So the issue is, with color, everyone who is not blind sees the color of other people's hairs. When you look around, you just see that if you're paying attention. You see the color of their clothes. You see the color of their skin. It's unavoidable to see color. However, if by looking at someone and you automatically start projecting these thoughts, which human beings do, you start projecting thoughts about this other person when you've never met them before at all. Or even if you know them, you don't really know exactly what they're thinking at that moment. I mean, people don't know what I'm thinking at this very moment. You don't know really what's going to come out of my mouth next. So how could anyone really know what's going on inside the mind of somebody else unless they've been around them forever and maybe they have an inkling? But at any rate, as an anti-racist educator, the point is, I believe, is that yes, you observe people, you can describe what they look like, and yet to better understand how to communicate with them and to mitigate whatever potential racist, unconscious thoughts and attitudes one may come up and cloud the mind, one should use bank code, use the colors of personality as a new filter to say, okay, this person, are they more action? Are they more red? Are they more of an action type person? Or are they more green? Are they more of a knowledge type person? Or are they blue? Are they a blueprint type individual? Or yellow? Are they a nurturing type person? This is one very powerful method to add to the anti-racist educator toolbox to help all of us break down the barriers and have a more authentic, a more connected connection with students in the classroom. And it's also a great way for students to start perceiving each other in a way that is more surprising, that's less prejudicial, that's less racist, that's less assuming that you know exactly what this other person is like, or what they're thinking, or what their behavior is going to be. This is my suggestion. This is why the Supercharge Student Success Program can have a high impact in the anti-racism education arena as well. So I hope that you check out this program, this training that I have to offer, and watch the videos, watch the explanations of what the program is about, and then get back in touch with me to set up a training for your school or your school system where we can really work to help educate students not only in what's going on now, but what they will be addressing outside the school, but also in their future in business roles. Because the better they are able to understand the motivations, the behaviors, the true motivations and behaviors of the other person that's sitting across from them, the better leader they will be, the better they will be able to sell, the better an interviewer they will be, or an interviewee, the more likely they will be able to land a job based on their skills and perceptions and break down communication barriers that may exist for sure because of racist attitudes in this country. Thank you very much. This is Dr. J. Sordean. Keep me in mind when you're thinking of your teacher development programs. Now you see me, now you don't. Now you see me, call.